Hi Morgan, I wanted to go through your homework with you. So the good news is that you're only making a few errors. If you can just correct those few things that you're doing wrong, I think it will go a long way towards helping you and improving your score. So on the confidence interval here, everything up to this point looks okay, but the margin of error is computed incorrectly. So I'd like you to go back and look at the formula for the margin of error. It's actually a product of two things. This is one, but there's something else also that you're missing. Problem 2, exactly the same comment. Okay, so if you just figure out how to do the margin of error, you should have everything else good on confidence intervals for section 8.1. Section 8.5, I don't believe you're answering the question that's being asked. So what you want to do here is you want to look up the meaning of confidence interval, what a confidence interval actually means. Same problem here in 11. The margin of error, you need to look up the right formula for that. Same comment. So see, you're making the same mistake if you just, once you get that down. And really the nice thing about Excel is if you add the thing that you need, it will automatically change everything else. Yeah, I can't go into a lot more detail than that, but essentially you don't have to redo the problems. You just need to add one thing, and then all the other answers will automatically change. Okay, let's see. The p-value here, let me see real quick. You have to take into account that this is a two-tailed test. So the p-value is not correct. You need the p-value for a two-tailed test. Okay. One other thing I'd really kind of strongly encourage you not to do is to put this double parentheses. It's not hurting your computations right now, but there are a lot of times when Excel will get hung up on stuff. Okay, if you enter the stuff as Excel asks you, you'll never have that problem. Let me just show you real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and compute this from scratch. So I'm going to click on this. And notice Excel asked me what I want. I put in 0 for the mean, comma, comma. It goes to the next one automatically. What do you want? Okay, standard deviation is 1, comma. And you notice it automatically asks me the next thing. There's no reason to type anything extra. And if you want to, if you're lazy, you can just hit the OK button and you don't have to even close off the parentheses, okay? But putting those double parentheses, it might hang you up in the future. Sometimes with Excel, if you hang Excel up in the middle of command, you have to force shut it because it can't close on its own. And then when you do that, you'll lose everything you have. So I kind of caution you against doing freaky things inside of a parentheses like that. Let's see, problem 4. They were just asking you what is the decision rule. So you just have to write the decision rule for this problem. This is step 4 on the hypothesis test. So just look and see what the decision rule is, and you're just going to write that out. It's a very short problem, actually. On both of these problems, you have to be more specific. You know, talking about wrong and right, it's very relative because there's two different things that we could potentially be right or wrong about. So what I would strongly suggest you do is, and this is extra credit, by the way, you don't have to do this, but I would strongly suggest you go back and look up what a type 1 and type 2 error is. The other thing is also you need to explain what these errors are in the context of the problem. In other words, what would it mean in this problem to have a type 1 error? So it's not a generic answer, actually. You have to explain what the outcome is going to be, what the problem is in each of these exercises if you have a type 1 and type 2 error. To type these the way we did in class, okay, this shouldn't be HKNOT, because that's actually not what it is. It's not NAUGHT, okay, and this is just H sub 1, And the other thing you want to get in the habit too of is putting relational signs. So this is equals, and this is not equals. Can't really type in not equals with a symbol. Okay, so if you write these, you'll understand what you're doing. The problem hopefully will be a lot more clearer. So yeah, I did that one. So we won't have to add this. But I'll put this in here as a reminder. Okay, here you have, so just like you made a problem with the MOE, that once you figure out how to correct it, you'll be fine. You made a similar problem with the z-score, so you definitely need to look up the formula for the z-score. Then everything else after this will change. So I won't even comment on this because this has to be corrected first. There, that looks good. In 22 and 23, you're not answering the question that's being asked. Okay? So, in those problems, let me look up real quick to make sure I'm on the same page as you here. They're asking whether or not you can use those tests given the information about the data. So it has to do with the skewness. So you have to think about how the skewness can affect the data and when the tests are appropriate and not. Same problem before with the z-score. You need to work on that. And 31, you're not sure how to do the problem. That's fine. Again, I would urge you to ask me, Morgan. It's people call me all the time. A lot of students call me. If you're really stuck, I'm more than willing to help you. So here in this problem, basically, you're computing X bar and you're computing S. And then everything else is the same. It's a straightforward hypothesis test. So in other words, this part you're not given. And so you have to compute these. So this is why we have this data set. We're going to compute X bar, which you actually did here. Well, I'm not sure if you did or not because I can't see the computation. But in any case, you want to compute X bar from the data. You want to compute S, the sample standard deviation from the data. And then you want to just perform a good old-fashioned hypothesis test. Okay, just like you were doing in problem 12, in problem 16. Okay. So hopefully that will be straightforward. Actually, I'll say problem 25 because I'm not sure if 16 was in section 1. So just like you're doing in problem 25. Okay, I hope that helped. Please get the redos done because the quizzes, the next homework set are going to be really dependent upon this. And you have till Friday, so let me know if you run into any problems.